Hi, everybody. Welcome to Caring for Our Community. Glad to have you with us. I'm Steve Heider, and I think we got a pretty good show for you today, so I'm, again, glad to have you on board. We're going to talk in a little while to Marilyn Warren. She is the Executive Director of the Martin Luther King Center in Newport, and a little bit later on after that, Lauren Schmieg and Jackie Lewandowski from the Boys and Girls Club of Newport County will join us, but it is my pleasure to welcome my friend back to the program, Keith Tavares. Keith, Vice President of Institutional Advancement at Child and Family, and we could talk about any number of things, but we have something very specific in mind today, and that's the Newport Initiative for Nonprofit Leadership, which is a program of Child and Family.
It is. Thanks for having me back, Steve. We love having you host this show.
Thank you.
The Newport Initiative for Nonprofit Leadership is a program that provides best practice trainings and seminars for nonprofit organizations, civic organizations, social service agencies, educational institutions in Newport County and beyond to kind of strengthen their capacity and to give them the ability to improve their organizational development and so forth.
I don't think it's any coincidence that Child and Family, who is among the leaders in the community in the types of things that you perform, initiated this program. Can you tell us a little bit about how it got started and how it's evolved?
Sure. It started in 2007. At the time, our Senior Vice President Jill Fitzamara applied for a federal grant. It was through the Capital Fund, the Compassionate Capital Fund, which is a community empowering youth federal grant. And we did it in collaboration with a number of other very well-known and very well-respected community organizations, including the Boys and Girls Clubs in Newport County, the Visiting Nurse Services of Newport County, East Bay Community Action Program. We all got together, and Child and Family served as the lead agency for the grant application, and we received a $750,000 grant in order to build capacity to strengthen youth programs within the community, to strengthen the organizations that serve youth in the community, everything from infant care all the way up through adolescence and early adulthood. And we put on some amazing training programs over the first 3 years with the grant funding that we received. Jeffrey Canada from the Harlem Children's Zone came up and spoke to the entire community at the Hotel Viking. That was one of our kickoff seminars. And from then, we just did seminar and training after seminar and training with some incredible speakers and professionals. Brought some great development and fundraising and marketing and best practice seminars to the people who work in the social service agencies serving children and teens.
How much of a part of it is it to groom young leaders, people who are going to have to take the reins for years to come?
Well, at first there was a lot of best practice trainings. It was more about best practices in child care, best practices in residential care, after school programs, that type of thing. We also did look at, though, how can we better enhance the leadership and the staff within each of these organizations? How can we improve leadership skills and really develop the leadership capacity of the people that are taking management control of the programs and services that we provide the community. So it was a big part of what we did. Now, after the last year and a half, the grant ended about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Child and Family saw the value in how many trainings and programs that were being provided to the community. And to be honest, most of our partners did not want to see these trainings go away because it was filling a void that had not been filled in as far back as we could remember. So what we decided to do was to continue the Newport Initiative for Nonprofit Leadership as a membership program. And through grant funding, we've received grant funding from the Rhode Island Foundation. They've been very generous with us. And through membership dues of organizations that want to continue to take advantage of the trainings that we provide, we're able to continue the Newport Initiative for Nonprofit Leadership. And we provide probably 1 to 2 trainings per month They're outstanding. It's everything from child care all the way up through elder care services now, because we can serve organizations that provide elder services because it's no longer a federal grant funding program. We have some great programs that we're providing on a monthly basis. And believe it or not, we have organizations from outside Newport County that are taking advantage of the trainings and becoming members of the Newport Initiative. Organizations that most people would recognize up in the Providence area.
How strictly do you have to stick to the letter of the law when it comes to those who take advantage? Of course, it's called the Newport Initiative for Nonprofit Leadership. Strictly nonprofits involved?
Not necessarily, no. We've had some businesses, some private doctor practices take advantage of it because you can buy a single seminar payment. You can pay, I think it's $25 to go to one of the seminars, $35 if it includes lunch. But for the most part, they are nonprofits, yes.
And you said you've got programs coming up. What are some of the seminars that folks are looking forward to taking part in?
There are two very important training seminars taking place during the month of February. One is on the 1st of February, and that is going to be in partnership. Actually, both of them are in partnership with the Rhode Island Foundation. Neil Steinberg, the president of the Rhode Island Foundation, is coming down to Child and Family to host. It's called Creating a Customer-Focused Organizational Culture. And it's getting nonprofits to look at their customer base, clients, donors, volunteers, and really focusing on them and making sure that they are a part of what you're doing and that they're very comfortable in what they're doing and they're happy with the services that they're receiving from your organization. That's on February 1st. That's going to be great because he's going to bring some of his dynamic experience as the president and CEO of the Rhode Island Foundation to the seminar and really talk about what it means to be customer focused. And then on February 29th, we're doing a second one. It's called Hiring and Developing Your Organization's Next Leaders. And this kind of harkens back to that question you asked about, do these programs look at leadership within the organizations? And that's going to be a panel of speakers talking to the organizations about how to identify leaders within their own agency, or how to hire good leaders to move on through the agency and become leaders within.
They sound like interesting topics, but the things that you've talked about and focused on in the past run the gamut: branding and renaming your organization, social networking, developing proposals. So I guess there's something in there that would benefit just about anybody.
There is. Most of the seminars that we do are around best practices. Best practices in child care centers, best practices in home health aid and case management for elders, looking at substance abuse prevention, trauma, child abuse prevention, working with families. And then we are looking at the development side of the house, how to write grants and so forth for your organization, how to hire good employees, and to really develop your organization so that it really does serve the community in the best possible way.
If people, companies, organizations want to get involved, maybe to come to some of the upcoming seminars or just to join the organization and ride it out, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, the newportinitiative.org. It's www.newportinitiative.org, or they can give us a call at Child and Family at 849-2300. Membership is of great value to the organizations that take advantage of it.
I never cease to be amazed by all the great things that you do at Child and Family. Keith, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Steve.
That's Keith Tavares. We're going to take a little time out. When we come back, we'll talk to Marilyn Warren. She is the Executive Director at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Center here in Newport. We'll be right back.
Child and Family Services has been caring for the community since 1866. Our new Community Center on John Clark Road in Middletown offers help and support to families from Newport County and beyond. Programs include Sandpiper's Early Learning Center for infants to preschool ages children, counseling services, support programs for teens, elder care services, and more. Child and Family is where people turn for help with personal and family emergencies and crises. To learn more, visit childandfamilyri.com or call this number.
Welcome back to Caring for Our Community, a program of Child and Family. Steve Heider with you, and it is a pleasure now to be joined by Marilyn Warren. Marilyn, the Executive Director at the Dr. Martin Luther King Community Center. And welcome to the show. And before I want to tell you the same thing I said to Keith as he left. Thank you so much for everything that you do at the Martin Luther King Center. I would have to think it's very rewarding.
It is a very rewarding job. It's you see all different kinds of people every single day. People who touch your heart, people who are giving back to the community. When they've been given something, then they come back and volunteer. It's very, very rewarding. Now, wanted to thank you for having me, and also Keith and Child and Family for having us on.
It's a pleasure. Let's talk a little bit, because I have lived in Newport for pretty much most of my life, not my entire life, and I'm ashamed to say that I don't really know the depth and breadth of exactly what the King Center provides. So Marilyn, if you could just kind of take us through a little bit. Sure. and get us up to par.
Well, I think we're like a jewel that's hidden in plain sight, one block over from Broadway. And we provide a lot of different services. Over the years, which has been 89 years, next year will be our 90th year, we have provided all different kinds of services for people in that community. Now we are serving all of Newport County. And so, you know, some things have come and gone. Because we're small, we're able to adapt to the changes in the community and the needs of our clients much more quickly than probably a lot of large agencies. So we have several focuses right now. We have education programs for children, starting at preschool. Then we also have before and after school care with homework help, and I'll go into all of that. And then a summer camp program, and that's up to grade 6. We have hunger services, so we have the area's largest food pantry, and that's been in existence for about 30 years. We see probably 200 families at least a month.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because I would think, Marilyn, that in this day and age, with the economy as bad as it has been and doesn't look much brighter in the foreseeable future, that the food, the pantry, everything like that must help an awful lot of people.
It does help a lot of people. We have 800 families on our roster. We're seeing, and have been seeing since July of 2010, probably a 20% increase per month of new families. And they are coming from all walks of life, people who never thought they were going to have to be coming to a food pantry. So, you know, all kinds of things. Last week we had somebody who was a Navy wife. You know, you don't think of the enlisted Navy that, you know, they really are struggling. We had a lady last week who came in dressed very nicely, nice car. She's underwater in her house. She just lost her job, has no food. You think about a person who's working and maybe doesn't have health care. If they have a medical emergency, a huge hospital bill, then they're going to have to decide whether they pay that medical bill or they buy food. So we're there to supplement the food stamps, or you know, any money that they have that can go towards their food budget. And we also have a breakfast program that's the only daily meal site in Newport, and we serve a wide variety of people. We have families who have been coming for years. We have a lot of people from the shelter, McKinney-Vento shelter down the street. We have people who are coming off the boats, fishermen, and a lot of people come because it's a safe place. They're friends. You know, it's social in the morning.
I would hope that someone who's watching this right now might learn something and realize that you will not turn anyone who's hungry away.
No, we will not. We do ask for ID. We need a photo ID, and we need a proof of address. We also need proof of how many people are in the family. So if they have 5 kids, if they can show us an insurance card, something like that. That basically is for statistics and for us to know how much food to allow a person to get. So we changed our pantry this year. It's a client choice pantry. That means that a client can come in, they can choose the food that meets their dietary needs or the food that they like. We don't just hand them bags of food.
We were talking about this before we went on the air, and I think that's such a neat thing that people can not just, okay, here, take this and be off with you, and that's good enough. I mean, you can cater to gluten-free diets, diabetic diets, and a lot of different things that help people kind of maintain their dignity just a little bit more.
Right, it does. And, you know, little things like we have a lot of relationships with a lot of people who come to volunteer. One big group is the Navy base. They came and painted the pantry. The next day, you know, somebody came in. You don't think about the pantry being painted making a difference in somebody's life, you know, but to say thank you, you know, it's so clean in here, you know, it's hard enough to come to a pantry, but to come where you're treated with respect, you know, and you're given a choice. We have great volunteers, and you know, they escort the client back to the pantry. You know, chat as they, you know, are coming through every month. They, you know, you develop friendships, and they start to give back too. Our clients, you know, very often are volunteering in the food pantry. Sometimes they'll volunteer with our children's program. So, you know, that's really good to see too.
Now, I know we're getting close. I mean, coming up late March, your main and major fundraiser for the year, Swing into Spring.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and how folks can get involved and what it's all about.
Well, it's a great event. This year we have Ways and Means, who are playing a great band. They were with us last year. A lot of dancing, which is fun. We have silent and live auctions. Emlyn Drayton normally does the live auction. He is hysterical, and you know, it's really fun. Great evening, and it really is. It's critical to us to kind of maintain our income over, you know, that period. We rely upon grants. We rely upon donations. That's where most of our income comes from. We do have fee-paying parents in our child care programs, but, you know, most of everything that comes in is through a grant or through a donation. So that's our biggest event.
How do people get tickets or information?
They can call the center at 846-4828. They can go on our website. You can actually donate online, and we will have all the information online as we get a little bit closer. But that's www.mlkccenter.org. Martin Luther King Community Center. We always leave out that C.
Well, you know, and again, I want to make sure that people know, as we talked about before, the food pantry is open to anyone. And I think growing up in Newport, as a kid, you'd hear the King Center, and you'd think it catered strictly to African American folks, but that's not the case.
No, it's not the case at all. We actually have a very diverse population. We have children who are probably 31%, I think, are African American, and about 30% are Caucasian. We have children who speak Spanish in the home. We have a large group of people who have moved here from Brazil and speak Portuguese. Most of them live in Middletown. You know, so it's a great bunch of kids, and they're thriving. They're all excelling. The focus of all of our education programs is to help the kids. Our preschool is to be ready for kindergarten, and our after-school program is to help kids maintain their grade levels. Our summer camp is definitely focused on helping kids not to have that summer slide that they normally have in the summer, where they lose half of a grade level.
And you said that that the students who take part in these programs do so with great success.
They do. They do. They love summer camp. We have it's a literacy-based camp, but everything is interwoven. So they actually have a literacy class. We just started a program called Move Up Math. We got a grant from the Van Buren Foundation. We piloted that last summer. So the kids actually have a math class also, but it's integrated with science, math, reading. They read a story. They might read about the salt marsh, and then they'll talk about, okay, what is the best bait to go catch a crab, and then they'll go to the salt marsh and they'll do the experiment, and then they come back and they write about it. So, you know, they don't even know that they're learning it. They're having so much fun, and we have a lot of collaborations with a lot of agencies in Newport. So the kids are having a great time. They're out on the water, they're on the beach, they're doing experiments, and they love it.
All right, that's Marilyn Warren. She's the executive director there. You are watching Caring for Our Community, and it is a program of Child and Family.
Being a parent is hard work, and sometimes it can be tempting to lash out and say and do things you may regret.
When the stress of being a parent becomes overwhelming, it's okay to take a time out.
Don't take it out on the children.
Your child's health and well-being starts with you.
For help with the hard work of parenting support, Rhode Island Family Care Community Partnerships are here for you.
Rhode Island, one community, one family, looking out for each other.
We are back. You're watching Caring for Our Community, of course, a program of Child and Family. Steve Heiter with you, and we go from the Martin Luther King Center to another staple in Newport for the last 50 years, the Boys and Girls Club of Newport County. And joining us is Lauren Schmieg, who is the director of Camp Grosvenor, and to her left is Jackie Lewandowski, the aquatics director. Ladies, thank you so much for coming on the program today. And Jackie, I'll start with you. Let's talk a little bit about the aquatics program. And I mean, I would have to imagine it's way more than just like when we were kids, swimming lessons, throw you in the pool and see if you can stay above water, right?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit different. We have a variety of levels for our swimming lesson program. We start with a water tot, which is a parent and infant class, which starts at 6 months old. And we go for a variety of levels from tadpole to minnow, and then we name them all after different aquatic animals. So we have goldfish, starfish, jellyfish, dolphins, and sharks in our pool, which are the different levels of swimming. And any kid can take a swimming lesson up to any age at 18 if they needed to take swimming lessons. And
if they enjoy it, they have another option, another opportunity at the Boys and Girls Club. Tell us about your swim team, because I understand it's quite a successful program.
Yes, we have our Barracuda swim team. We have, when we swim in our meets, about 95 children on our roster, starting from ages 6 to about 15 years old on our team. And we compete with local Boys and Girls Clubs, in Rhode Island, and 2 in Massachusetts, Fall River and Taunton clubs. So we compete with them, we travel to their sites, they come to us, and we have some wonderful dual and tri meets with them. We have our championships, which take place at Roger Williams University every March or April, depending on the year. And then also our club has the opportunity to compete in the Boys and Girls Club Nationals down in Florida.
And I would imagine it's quite a time commitment for the young people who want to be a part of it, practice, and then the meets. How much time per week would be involved?
Depending on the group, we have 3 groups, groups 1, 2, and 3. Group 1, of course, is the beginners. They have practice about 3 times a week. Groups 2 and 3 have practice 4 times a week. And then, of course, we meet on Saturday if it was scheduled.
And to be a part of the swim program, you have to obviously be a member of the Boys and Girls Club.
Correct, yes.
Now I'm gonna date myself, because when I was a kid, I think it was like $1 to join. I mean, I sound like an old guy, don't I, when I say that? Despite this youthful appearance, I am, but I'm probably a little bit more expensive here in 2012.
It is a $20 membership, but it's for the
still
year.
A bargain.
It's a great deal. We have a lot of different activities that the children can participate in, and we provide a snack every day for the kids who come after school. So we do a lot for
and I got to ask you one more question about the programs, because when I was a kid, you didn't walk more than 5 feet without seeing a kid wearing a Flo Harvey basketball t-shirt. Is that program still in existence?
Absolutely. We have our Flo Harvey Basketball League, which children from 5 to 18 can participate in. We have practice about once or twice a week, and then games. Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like fun. Lauren, let's talk a little bit about summertime fun, because you are the director of Camp Grosvenor.
Yes.
Where is the camp, and how many young people does it serve on a weekly basis?
Sure. We have 95 acres over in Saunderstown, Rhode Island, so right over the bridges in North Kingstown. And we serve over 200 kids per summer. We've been growing by leaps and bounds every year. This year we hope to serve at least 250 kids. And that's from both Newport County and Washington County.
So we pick them up in the morning, load them on the bus, and take them across the bridge.
Absolutely. We have a couple of bus loads that go over. We have some vans. We have buses and vans over on the other side of the bridge, and parents also can drop off their kids. And we also have extended care. So for those working parents who, our normal camp hours are a little bit too, the 8 to 4, they need that extra couple of hours. We have till 5:30 that they can have their kids still be part of the program.
Now, I think the trend these days seems to be to incorporate education along with the daily fun of arts and crafts and swimming and that type of thing. Is that the case at Camp Grosvenor?
It absolutely is, but what we try to do is make it very experiential. So they're doing a lot of hands-on stuff. We have 2 certified teachers on staff during the summer, and they're doing science experiments because we have such a great environment, the natural environment right there at their fingertips. If they want to walk down to the beach, it's 2 seconds away. If they want to go over into the garden and learn about bugs and the different fruits and vegetables as part of their lesson plans, they can certainly do that. And our program is so successful last year that all the youth that participated in the reading program, 100% of them either maintained or improved their reading level by the end of the summer.
I know that you had said that you've experienced great growth over the last 5 years. To what can we attribute that?
Well, we've put a lot of investment in the camp, both in its facilities. We've renovated a number of buildings. We've improved the, just the actual landscape of the camp. We've also put a lot of money into improving the quality of the programming. We've done a lot of program evaluation, hired some fantastic staff over the past few years, and really just put a real emphasis on the quality of the program. We're now accredited by the American Camp Association, which is the national organization that looks at, a body of standards that you're supposed to meet, whether it's from food and site standards to program quality to how you, manage risk in your operations in human resources and health and wellness. So I think that it's been just a real focus on making sure that the camp is one of the best camps in the region, and we do feel it is right now.
And I know one of the rites of passage was to go from being a camper, and hopefully someday you wanted to be a counselor.
Absolutely.
So you could boss the kids around.
Exactly. That's how I started out as a camper. But yes, we've seen a lot of our youth grow from being campers. Recently, one of our kids who is now at Southern New Hampshire University. She was the Rhode Island Youth of the Year for the Boys and Girls Club, got to compete in New York. She started out as a club kid, was a camper, became a leader in training, which is our kind of transition program from being that camper to being a counselor, and this past summer was a counselor at camp. So it's, we see the kids grow up and become, young adults, and it's really, worthwhile.
And I would imagine there's a fee to go.
Absolutely, there is a weekly fee, but we do have financial aid available, as well as accept DHS, CCAP, and we have a lot of different scholarship programs that we can offer to kids.
So it's really affordable for
absolutely.
And again, do you need to be a member to go to the camp?
You do need to be a member. However, membership again is not we won't prohibit anyone. So if membership, paying for membership is a struggle, then we'll work it out for people. But as I said, we accept kids from Washington County, we accept kids from Newport County. We've had kids as far away as visiting from Germany come over to camp. Wow. So we have quite a diversity of kids that are on our camp. So anyone can come.
And I would imagine it's a beautiful setting.
Absolutely.
What about outside trips? Do we have those too?
We have field trips. We have 2 major field trips a year, and also we usually go to Waterwiz, and this year we're going to Lake Compound, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Jackie, who with one of our other counselors, led a 3-day trip to Mount Monadnock up in New Hampshire last summer, and that was for our youth that are 11 to 13. We try to do a little bit more adventurous program for them to try to keep it a little bit more interesting than just the general programming that they maybe have done since they were 6 years old. So they get to go canoe trips and bike trips and do a lot on it. We have a challenge ropes course, which was built by Project Adventure, so they're climbing, our double helix rock climbing wall, or doing our flying squirrel, or some of the other coursework that we have our certified staff lead.
Well, ladies, our time together flew by.
Yes, sir.
How do people get in touch to find out more about the camp or about some of the other programs you offer?
Well, there's a number of ways. Obviously, we're right in the center of downtown Newport on Church Street near the Hotel Viking, so they can always stop by the club there. Give us a call on our phone, 847-6927. And of course, we have our website, bgcnewport.org. So any way they want to come by. And we also have a couple other clubhouses in the area, one at the Florence Gray Center and one over in Oxbow Farms in Middletown. So.
Ladies, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. We are all out of time, unfortunately. I want to thank Lauren and Jackie, also Marilyn Warren from the Martin Luther King Center, and of course Keith Tavares from Child and Family. Well, we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, and you take care.